What is your go-to regimen to stay healthy, and how do you handle aches and pains?
How do you guys manage that, especially because over time, I mean, because you guys had a little one with a little bit of knowledge going in as far as just for this area. How did you manage with three little ones? Because I mean, I know just from brief talking with them, I mean, you guys range anywhere between 5 to 7 hours of lucky sleep. Sometimes, it's less than that, especially when you have visitors in the house. But, and I mean, how did you handle it in the beginning with three?
Let me double check. Excuse myself.
He doesn't like to remember.
It's blocked
He's like,
out.
oh.
There's a really blacked out period. It was wild. It's not any different from their scheduling now than it was. In fact, now it's probably even more intense because even though a lot of things are virtual, they still have a lot going on and their interests have changed and they want to stay up later.
Circadian rhythms, come on.
I do. I found that paper the other day. I was like, bring it out. Is hoping to be the example that they need. If they see regular actions from me, then the hope is that they will take those on. It is saying, I need 5 minutes. And that's all. Am I in trouble? No, you're not in trouble. I need 5 minutes. Because with three, it might have been something on NPR, but there was a study months ago that said with everybody at home now, the average interruption period for a parent with kids at home was something like 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes, something was happening. And you heard that and you're like, oh, it can't be that much. And then you remembered that you heard that one day when it all started to happen. And then with three of them, sometimes it's just in a row every 1 minute, or sometimes you feel like they've plotted something and they all just march out. Whoa! And that's when dad needs 5 minutes. But if they can see an example, you hope that it helps. Understanding that, just like a metaphor, they need to find their own way at some point. They need to internalize that and realize what it is. And just like bigger people, sometimes they hit a bottom of being tired or being sore that is a point that they have to reflect upon that.
That mental fog starts to cloud over.
Yeah, or why does your ankle hurt? Maybe don't sit like that. Or why are you tired all day long? Or why this or why that? And at least they're asking that at that point.
I think, well, I have to think back to the one thing that we were taught, I know that when we were learning, is that you continue to move. So often I think in society, people get stuck and they want to stay where they are and not move. And that's when things set in and the aches and the pains. And certainly there is time for rest, but they're staying mobile, moving, breathing through it, whether that's just setting and breathing, or if you're on a drive, for me, driving into work in the morning, I will do breathing. I will do contractions, just something where there's motion and movement is very helpful for me. Before COVID, I was doing Tai Chi weekly, which I still do Tai Chi, but it's not necessarily, as a whole group. Tai Chi and swimming, and I think that both of them were very, very helpful with breath. But I think the one thing that has really set in and has been very helpful is just the breath and continuing to move every day. So I think motion and breath.
So you're both two sharks, two great whites. Just got to stay in motion, huh?
Yes.
All right.
Well, sometimes I think you can, consistency is great, but constancy is also a benefit too. So you may not be able to do the exact same thing all the time, or you may not work that way, or circumstances in terms of what the world is putting on your plate, what you're doing with family may not allow you to meet that.
But something.
But something happens.
something,
You know,
yes.
so in some manner, you have motion connected to breath, and I always say, put some water and rest in there.
Exactly,
So-
yeah. And nutrition, right?
Right,
Like
there
we
you go.
said.
So we got it all.
Yeah.
Well, like being adaptable to it as well. It's,
Right.
it's what you said. You may have 10 minutes as opposed to 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
or
But something.
you may have a bum ankle or something. But as long as there's that awareness and hope of progression that you can get into, that's the pattern. I think that's the mental pattern.
And I think the example piece that he mentioned too is really good, because Lucy does know that, you know, Adam is going to get up in the morning and he's going to have the living room for his exercises, and we do not disturb him during that time. The dog mind.
What's that like?
I realized that it took some time to get there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of coming in and sitting right in front of where I'm standing, or, asking questions and,
Can we read the book now?
let me explain. So, there was a learning curve.
But I mean, so that is, I think, can also be things that you set to be part of the household as well.
My health routine primarily is just meditation, and as long as I can break a sweat. I struggle a lot with self-deprecating, so I literally have to get those chemicals out. If not, I can be a complete monster. So I have to figure out how to break myself. So I'll grab 2 kettlebells, 90 pounds, and just move heavy stuff, just to make sure that I'm a nice, gentle creature when I have to do rosemary or teach class. I mean, even before we do seminars, I will go work out because I will just be too pent up. It's like, oh no. So meditation and breaking a sweat or something of some sort.